Every app you use is constantly talking to a server. REST, GraphQL, gRPC, WebSockets, each one is a different way to have that conversation. Let's break down every major API style, fast. Here's the map. We'll cover 5 core ways to talk to a server: REST, GraphQL, gRPC, WebSockets, and Webhooks. By the end, you'll know exactly when to reach for each one. But why are there so many in the first place? Because the web grew up. Mobile apps, real-time features, and microservices each created new problems, and every style here was invented to solve a specific pain point. At its core, an API is a contract. The client sends a request to the server does some work, and sends a response straight back. Get this one idea, and every style clicks into place. So what changes between the styles? Really just 4 things: the data format, the speed, how much control the client has over the response, and whether it works in real time. REST is the classic, and still the most common. Everything is a resource with its own URL. You exchange plain JSON over HTTP, and it's stateless and easy to cache. It powers most public APIs you already use, GitHub, Stripe, and Twitter included. You act on those resources using HTTP verbs. Get reads data, post creates it, put updates it, and delete removes it. Those 4 verbs cover almost everything you'll ever do. And it leans on status codes to say what happened. 200 means okay. 201, created. 400, a bad request. 404, not found. And 500 means the server itself broke. Ask for a user, and the server hands back a fixed JSON shape, like this one. Simple, predictable, and readable by any language on the planet. But REST has a weak spot. You often get more fields than you need, or too few, which forces extra round trips. A user, then their posts, then the comments, can be 3 separate calls. Here's that difference in one picture. With REST, grabbing a user, their posts, and the comments is often 3 separate round trips. With GraphQL, it's 1 query, 1 request, 1 response. So GraphQL flips the control. There's 1 endpoint, and the client asks for exactly the fields it wants, even deeply nested, all in a single request. GitHub's public API, Shopify, and Meta all run on GraphQL. Here's a single query. Grab a user, their posts, and each post's comments, perfectly shaped, with nothing wasted and nothing missing. The power isn't free. Caching is harder, clients can write expensive nested queries that hammer your database, and the server is heavier to set up. For a small app, it's overkill. gRPC is built for raw speed between servers. You write a strict protocol buffers contract, messages travel as compact binary over HTTP/2, and client code is generated for almost any language. Google built it, and Netflix and Uber lean on it between microservices. You define your services and messages like this. That contract generates the code on both sides, and it even supports streaming a continuous flow of messages. The catch? Browsers can't speak gRPC directly, and the binary isn't human readable. So it shines for internal, service-to-service traffic inside a backend, not the public web. Everything so far was request, then response. WebSockets break that. They keep a single connection open the whole time, so the client and server can push messages to each other at any moment. That's what powers live chat, multiplayer games, collaborative editors, and dashboards that update the instant something changes. Slack, Figma's multiplayer, and Discord all run on it. Closely related, server-sent events. The server streams a one-way feed of updates over a single, long-lived HTTP connection. It's simpler than WebSockets when you only need server-to-client. Webhooks flip the direction entirely. Instead of you asking the server for updates, the server calls you. You register a URL, and it sends you a post the moment an event happens. It's the "don't call us, we'll call you" pattern, no constant polling. It's exactly how Stripe and GitHub notify your app that something just happened. A few more worth knowing. Long polling, the old hack before WebSockets, gRPC Web, to reach gRPC from a browser, and message queues for async, decoupled communication between services. And one veteran is still worth knowing: SOAP. It's old, XML-based, and strict, defined by rigid WSDL contracts. Verbose, yes, but still common in banking and large enterprise systems. So how do you choose? Public and flexible? Reach for REST, GraphQL, or Webhooks. Need raw speed or real time? That's gRPC and WebSockets. Here's the whole thing in one breath: REST for public APIs, GraphQL for flexible queries, gRPC for fast microservices, WebSockets for real time, and webhooks for events. And that's every major API style, from REST to webhooks. Pick the one that fits your problem, not the one that's trending. If this helped, follow for more, and tell me which style you're using right now.